Good morning, and welcome to Getting It Done with Gratitude. What are you doing today? What are you getting accomplished today? What are you getting done today? And have you remembered to always do it with gratitude? To just give thanks that you are able to do what you're doing and that you have achieved what you are setting out to achieve. It's another beautiful Thursday morning here in the Caribbean, and we are so happy to be here with you. And as always, we will be talking about getting it done with gratitude. And this morning, we want to start off by looking at it from a very personal perspective. We've taken you through so many different episodes where we have looked at building resilience. We've looked at how gratitude helps your mental health, your physical health, your wellness. We have looked at so many different things. And really, this year, we made the decision that we really want to step it up a notch. We really want to share more with you about how it really manifests itself in our life. And so we're talking today about setting the tone for the year because we're still in January and we know that now some of all the happy, fuzzy, the champagne is settled,
Said it
the
well.
fireworks have come down, everything is gone. Shoo. So we want you, before you let it fizzle out totally, whoop, we're jumping in here. And we really want to talk this morning about how are you setting the tone for the year that you want? How are you setting the tone for what it is that you want to see, to do, to have, and to be in this year? So before we really get right into all of that, because we can get on a tangent when the two of us get together and we're talking about getting it done with gratitude. Listen, it's all over. So we are always so happy to be here doing that. Let me first introduce myself, and then we're going to get right into it after Shelley does the same thing. So, I'm Karen Williams Thompson. I am a life strategist and a personal growth coach. And what I do is I work with women over 40 who may be feeling a little overwhelmed, a little bit as if the ship has passed them by. That's what a client did share with me, that she was feeling as if everything was passing by and she was just standing there and not getting stuff done that she wanted to do for herself. So I really help women to discover that yes, to build that momentum in their life, to say yes to the things that they want. You escape settling is what my yes is all about. You don't have to settle. And I show you how. I show you how to get absolutely clear on what it is you want. I show you how to really manage those limiting beliefs that are going to come up and how to, through mindset shifts, change the way that you are actually speaking to yourself. Because the truth is, we talk to ourselves the most. And I really want to encourage us to talk to ourselves with love, to talk to ourselves with grace. And after we do that, we get to do the planning. And this is really my superpower, one of them. I love to create a strategic plan that works. That's the difference here. My plans are going to work. So we get to create a plan that's going to work so that you then can enjoy the life that you have wanted for yourself, the flexibility, the fun, the freedom, whatever it is that you have been dreaming of, it can be yours. Shelley?
Good morning, Karen. Good morning, those who are joining us on the live. Thank you for your time. Those who are looking at the recording, the replay, thank you for joining us again. And happy Thursday. For us, it's happy Thursday morning. For you, it might be happy Thursday afternoon, evening, or some other time. Thank you so much. Um, I was listening to you and I thought, yes, yes, indeed, I love it. And that's exactly the kind of thing that we need in our lives to get the year going. We do it on a daily, we do it on a weekly, monthly, on a regular basis. But when we do that at the beginning of the year, that is when we really do set the tone. And we're talking about setting the tone personally. We've spoken about that with the vision boards and so on. And we're talking about setting the tone at work because there is that part of our lives where we need to also have a plan and some sort of guidance. And so, what I do, I am a gratitude guide and habit coach. And what I do is to help my clients implement, well, discover first, because sometimes people don't know what habits they need to implement. and help them discover and implement the habits that get them to where they need to be. And so we I really, really believe that, when you hit 40, that something happens. And it's like that's when you suddenly wake up and start to take stock and, realize what's been happening to you. And you feel like some of us feel like life is happening to us and that we're not actually living. And so we start to assess our behaviors and what's going on. And at that point, we might feel stuck. And like you said, everything is passing us by.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do is to help my clients recognize that it's okay. Life really does kind of begin, it feels like, at 40, and you can pursue your goals with joy and happy intention, and not feel like you have to, burn the candles at both ends and in the middle. Some people do. um so I teach my clients the gratitude strategy, and that's where we start with our keystone habit. And so we learn to say it right, which is managing self-talk. We learn to say it loud, which is making gratitude tangible. And we learn to say it always, which is that daily habit of gratitude that kind of sets the foundation and builds the confidence and resilience to implement the other habits that are required. Because really, it's our habits that take us to where we want to be, and that's really my focus. And one of the habits is um setting intentions and taking a look at who you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to experience regularly. I do it on a weekly basis, but at the beginning of the year there's a special um, practice and vision for the entire year. What do I want to experience this year? What do I want to do this year? What is, who's the kind of person that I want to be this year? And so we start with that. And a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned vision boards. And I think before we get into the whole workplace thing, because we're starting with ourselves personally, and then we're going to the work, um I really want to share, because I ended up going ahead and doing my vision board on my own, because there was a little hiccup with the group session that I wanted to attend, that my friend was doing. So I decided just to go ahead and do mine on my own. And so I want to share that, because I think, sometimes we talk about vision boards and all these things, and there are many people who are interested and they want to know, how to get this done, really. And so let me just quickly share my screen so that you guys could see, and we'll chat just quickly about that before we get into the workplace. Yeah, so I did mine on Canva, because I decided to go digital this year so that I could walk around with it. And I actually have it, let me come back and I'll show you. I have it as the lock screen on my phone, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
that it is with me everywhere I carry my phone. And that's why I did it on Canva, and that's why it looks this way, because the gray to the top and the bottom is so that I could see the functions of the phone, and that so it's just at the middle. And so I tried to capture both doing and feeling and experiences. So stuff I'd like to do, things I'd like to create, um, what I'd like to experience, places I'd love to go, because this year my agenda is to travel a little bit. And so I've included all of that. And of course, the people in my life who I'd like to do all of these things with, and some of the things that, future ambitions. And this one up in the corner, I'm actually, this year I'm going to be actively pursuing getting into my PhD. So I've been thinking about it for a while, but this year I'm gonna settle in and decide on a school and get that whole process started. So that's what all of this is about. Yeah,
Nice, nice.
yeah.
Well, we made the commitment about the vision boards, and so I will have Shelly pop mine up. But what I will say about vision boards is it's not just about taking pictures or words and randomly putting them there together. It's really about sitting for a minute and thinking about what is it that is important to you? What do you want to feel? What do you want to achieve? What are the things
Hmm.
that are super important for you? So, one of the things that's really important to me is financial freedom. So, you're going to see that I have house paid off in full. And if you all notice, right there in the corner is the new Mercedes. Yes, I'm owning it, owning it,
Nice.
owning it. And walking off there into the ocean. The ocean means so much to me. The ocean is abundance. The ocean is limitless. The ocean is my place where I can just be and think, and it's just I just love it. And it's about having that freedom. And that's what I have in my vision, to have that type of freedom in my life, to be and do and to impact lives of women as I want to, and to have the life, time for my family, to do so many different things that I have thoughts about, things that I want to create respite centers for persons who are challenged, or for persons who are parents with children with any sort of challenge, because often they don't ever get a break. And so that's something, having that as a personal experience, that's something that I want to be able to share my knowledge and experience with. And so for me, my vision board was capturing the main things, love, it was capturing continuous learning. And oh, don't forget the fitness and health, because I had my PT training this week, and it was all about abs and cardio. Oh my goodness, is all I am going to say about that. so so
Yeah.
when, and of course the community that you
Hmm.
have around you is really going to make the difference. Whether your community just comprises family or it comprises other persons. Some time ago, I did a talk about having your own personal board of directors. And that is really how you can think of your community. People that are
Yeah.
there to support you, people that are there to hold you accountable, people that are there to call you out. When you have committed to doing something and they know that you've committed, those are the persons that help you stay on track, to help you get back on when things happen in life. So, building the right community for you is important. Don't look at what everybody else has. Think about
Hmm.
what is
Hmm.
best for you, and that is the community you have. And if right now there are things that are not serving you, or people that are not serving you and not going in the same direction, be very grateful for the time that they have been with you and where they have brought you, and let them go. I repeat, let them
Yeah,
go.
I think we need to see you. Yes, say it one more time for the people at the back who need to hear this.
No, for the persons or the things in your life that are really not serving you, they're not in alignment with your values. They're not in alignment with the vision that you have now created of where you are taking yourself, the journey that you are going. Let them go. Do not feel that you are being a bad person. You're not. You're being a very healthy person. Let them go. Let them go so that you can step into that space that you're creating for yourself. So your vision board is really an accountability tool. It's a focus tracker. No, I wasn't sure if that was a word, but it was coming out anyway. But it helps you to stay focused and on track. That's where my mind was going.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it gives you a visual, just like Shelly has hers as her screensaver on her phone, and she can see it every time her phone comes up. That is what you need with your vision. You need to have it places where you can see it, whether it's your phone, your fridge, your bathroom mirror. You need to be able to see it. Why? So
Hmm.
you remind yourself. of the journey that you are going on. So don't
Yeah.
take vision boards lightly. It's a
No,
really
I think,
very effective tool. And I have done dream vision parties, all I have worked with
yeah.
persons to create their vision. And I'm telling you, I have been able to see them do everything and accomplished everything that they actually put on that vision board because they were that intentional about it.
Yeah, something you said had me thinking just now, and they, when we do vision boarding, a lot of times people think about what they're going after and what they want, and all the abundance they're going to experience and all those things. But there is that aspect of it that there are some things we need to let go, and we're not really going to understand what needs to go if we don't have a vision, because then without that vision, without that direction, then lots of things, we're still kind of out of sorts. But once we organize our thoughts and really um focus and have that intention, then we can ask and answer the question, is this
Exactly.
helping me? Is this experience supporting my goals?
Mhm.
Is this relationship part of what I need to move forward? And that is really the only time you can properly answer the question, if you know where moving forward is and what that's all about.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're not really going to know what actually serves you and what doesn't, and then you would end up feeling kind of, like you're spinning around and doing lots of things, but no forward trajectory, no movement in the direction that you want to go. And so the idea of creating that, what we call the projection, is important. Now, I know lots of businesses and organizations do it. um, it's not as easy for entrepreneurs to do it as with, a full team and an organization. Because with a team, you know that you have to communicate your ideas with others. And so, you have the year end meeting, you have the beginning meeting, and you have, targets set and all those things. All of those practices come into creating that vision for the year for the business, and entrepreneurs can and should do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. A vision board, setting your intentions, setting your goals, creating your roadmap, however you want to define it, is not just for the individual. And some people tend to do it for the business and not for themselves. And then there's another group that tend to do it for themselves, but think to themselves, maybe this is not quite applicable for work, but it is. It is. Shelley asked me a question earlier about gratitude in the workplace, and it really got me thinking. When I was in corporate, did we really do that? And I was sharing with Shelley that when I was in corporate, we didn't really have what I thought intentional actions or leaders that said or demonstrated that we were practicing gratitude in any way. And what I realized now that I have this knowledge and this experience is that back then I was doing some things that really were very beneficial, but I hadn't connected the dots totally to understand the magnitude of what I was really doing and
Mm.
creating. So I was telling Shelly, I'm a very structured person. It could work for me, and sometimes, I have to understand how to let go. So, but so I always had weekly meetings. But one of the things I used to do is always change mine up. And I remember I would take my team sometimes to the beach, provide breakfast. We'd go through the same things, crunch the numbers, do everything. But it built a team of fellowship. My team felt appreciated. They felt that I listened to them. They felt that I honored and respected what they were doing and what they were each bringing to the team. And people never wanted to leave my team, and people enough wanted to get on my team. I mean, you had other managers thinking, what is it that Karen is doing with these people that they will get up in the middle of the night and just come and do anything that she may ask? But it's about setting those intentions of what you want. It's about getting the buy-in. And I think creating the vision as an entrepreneur, whether you're a solopreneur or whether you have a small team or a large team, setting that intention, getting that buy in, you have to
Mm-hmm.
buy
Mm-hmm.
in for you. If you are a solopreneur, you have to believe in it. You have to believe in the business that you are creating. And if you have a team, you need your team to believe in this dream that you're creating, in this vision that you have. You have to share it with them. You have to lead from in front. You got to give things like feedback so that people
Mm-hmm.
hear and understand, yes, I'm being listened to. So, setting the tone for developing gratitude in the workplace is something that's very intentional, and
Yeah.
it's something that you have to be consistent at.
And
People,
cultivate over time.
let me tell you, it can't do it today or you can't do it in January, miss February and March, and come back in April and say, oh, shoot, quarter one, I only did it once. Let me do it again. No, 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 no. That's not going to work.
Habits, and that's why I'm so much into the habits, because
Mhm.
we talk a lot about these things and they sound wonderful, and we especially December, January, everybody's about the vision and the goals and all these things for the new
But
year.
ask them in May.
Yeah, because they have not really focused on what the details are and creating the habits. Because really, our habits set that trajectory, they build the momentum, they sustain the momentum that we need. And what I thought of as you were speaking just now with the solopreneurs and so on, we do need to have separate visions, the vision for ourselves personally and the vision for our business. I feel that it's important to have two separate visions, because while we are pretty much our businesses, when we are solopreneurs and professionals and so on, we do need to have a separation, because our business is not our only existence. And having that, so I would highly recommend having that vision board for the business, where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish for the business, and also the separate personal one for your, I guess you can call it your life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I have a slightly different view, a slightly different perspective, because I think about the person who then has these two things that they are trying to follow. So for me, I like to think about, okay, what do I want for my business? So I might have keywords that I want to achieve, but then outside of that, when I'm actually breaking it down and into in corporate, I might have called them my KPIs, we might call them tasks, or we might call them goals. When I start to break them down, then that's where I'm going to get really specific on what I want to do in each of those areas. But for my vision, I because trying to move myself towards simplicity as well. I wanted
Mhm.
to be able to capture it as a whole. And
Ah.
sometimes when I have the whole me as a person and then I have the whole business, are they two separate things? And when you were talking, it brought me back to very early in my entrepreneurial journey. And a couple persons said to me, um, life and business coach, are you, how, what, if, that kind of thing. And I, one second.
Why does it sound like rain?
Yes, that's when you live in the Caribbean. And 1 minute the sun is shining brilliantly, all the windows are open, and then the rain came from nowhere. Thank you. Sorry about that. All the rain was coming in. But I was saying, they say life and business coach. And my question is always this: you are the person. The business
Hmm.
is a part of you. It is not all that you are. I totally agree with that. But it is a part of who you are. And so when you are clear on who you are, on what you want, you are able to take that clarity into the business. And that
Yes.
is why there is the blend for
Yes.
me of both, because who you are and the clarity that you have of that, when you
Hmm.
take that into the business, you are that much clearer because you have now become super clear, which is what I do with my clients up front. Get super clear on what is it that you really want. Who are you really? What is it you want to be? What's that purpose? What are you being called to answer? When you answer
Mm-hmm.
that, that guides all the other things start to fall into place.
Yeah, so I agree definitely. So I did my personal vision board first, and then the next step for me is how does the business fit into that? And then I do the business vision so
Okay.
that I start with the personal vision board because, as you said, I am the core of it, and this is what I want for my life,
Mm-hmm.
and this is my life balance. And then I focus on my business being part of that. And so I do the personal first and then the business. And I am going to do, I haven't done it yet, but that's the next step. I am going to do a vision for the business. And so that one will be
Mm-hmm.
on the computer, not on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
That one
Mm-hmm.
will be on the computer. So when I sit at my desk to get work done, this is the vision for the business that I have. And so it is part of, but separate. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And one of the things for me, and I guess this is where people differ and why it's necessary to understand what works for you. Part of it for me is that I came from a totally workaholic background, right? So
Understand. Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock in the morning, dressing for work, getting to work at 7, working until 7 a.m. and working until 7 p.m., coming home, having dinner at the desk, working at the computer at home until 1 o'clock in the morning, and then waking at 6 again and doing that whole cycle. It was crazy. So for me, I have to compartmentalize. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm going to revert to what it is and have
Yeah.
everything merged. So I
Yeah.
have to focus on me and my vision first, understand what I want to be and do and experience, and then create that vision separately for
Yeah.
the business so that I can see that they work together, but I am not the business.
Yeah. And I think that for persons who have, that similar thought process as you, Shelley, that's a really very good way of establishing boundaries so that you maintain
Yes.
your mental well being because you don't want to lapse back into those old habits. I mean, right? So having it done like that works. And so I think what is coming up for me there is we each must do what works best for how we function, how we think, what our
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
business model is. You have the model for your business, but who and who are you? And what is it that really works best for you? And it is about acknowledging the things that you've had to work on to get to where you are because it's a continuous journey. Achieving goals is never about the actual goal, it is about who you become in the process. And so,
Mhm.
listening to Shelley, she's evolved from that workaholic. And so, setting this as clear boundaries is what's going to work for her and not have her slide back or, default to any of those habits because believe
Mhm.
me,
Mhm.
habits are something that we work on daily. It's easy
Yeah.
to drift back into what was, but think about when you are exercising and you miss a couple sessions, how easy it is to just fall back. And then after you fall back, you're drinking more soft drinks or you're having more ice cream than you should have. It's so easy. So you have to put things
Put
in
the
place
systems in place. Yes,
to
absolutely.
help to man to help yourself manage. So that's a really very very good point because there are many persons who will be thinking, "Oh my goodness, one can't work for me. I need to have it in the
Yeah,
separate areas of my
compartmentalize.
in my life."
And then there's the issue of even as a solopreneur, remember you're not even though you are the, I guess, the only employee, you do have clients that you work with. You have maybe you have a VA, so you have people on contract, you have different things. And being able to articulate your vision for your company to these
So
people,
important.
it's important. And so that's why having a vision separately for the company that you can deal with in the corporate space and in the professional space, it's important. And so it took me a while to get to that point. So
Hmm.
now, if you ask me about the whole gratitude, I can tell you what I want to do and where I want to go, and that's the business. And when you ask me about the training for teachers and the writing training and all those things, I can tell you where that business is going and what it's doing, and I could give you the vision separately. And I can tell you vision for my life, which incorporates those two, but it's still also something separate. And so then we know that there is a life balance. And just something quickly about life balance that I learned, is not about keeping everything on the same level.
Yeah,
It is about balancing, the movement. And that's really what balance has to do with, not keeping it steady level. Is about knowing when to lean this way and
the
when to
flow.
lean back, and how to get that flow with
Yeah.
everything in the business. Yeah.
I totally appreciate that. Learning to go with the flow was something I had to learn because
Hmm.
I am very structured. I love a plan. I mean, I'm telling y'all, it's my super thing, and it worked really very well in corporate because it helped me to manage multiple Fortune 500 brands simultaneously. It helped me to deliver the numbers, manage large teams. So it was very, very good. But there's also another side to that because when you have everything planned out, how are you really creating that balance? How are you really then being able to just go with the flow? So I had to learn to let go and go with the flow.
Yep.
And it takes time, but it
Yep.
is possible. I'm living proof. It's possible. It's
And
possible.
and speaking of time, we're about 2 minutes over. So
Yeah, I told
yeah.
y'all this was going to be a good one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think so. So takeaways, it can be done, and it can be done with gratitude. You don't have to feel stressed going after your goals. Having that
Yeah.
plan and that direction makes all of the difference. So join us next week. Next week, what are we talking about next week? Moving into, we're settling into the year, and we're getting started with that. We're going back to thinking about these New Year's resolutions, and reminding you that it's a habit and we need to keep going with it. So don't let it drop off in February.
Exactly, because according to Stanford, the statistics show from the research that's been done that 43% of people by that first week in February are going to have released, let go, drop those resolutions. So
Hmm.
we are here to encourage you,
Yep.
don't be in that statistic. Be
Yep.
in the 8% of the persons who are getting it done. And very quickly before we wrap up, Shelly said something about being a solopreneur and doing it on, if you're the one person in the business, please remember you are not alone. And that is
Yeah.
why having the community around you, because don't think or believe that this is something that you have to do on your own. Reach out to a coach, reach out to a mentor, build that community, build that body of persons that are going to be there to support you because the journey is not for the weary and it is hard at times. So listen, I don't sugarcoat it. It is what it is, but it is possible and you can have what you dream of. Creating the right habits, being consistent, getting it done with gratitude.
Yeah,
Off the
absolutely. So
soapbox today.
see, yes. Oh, but it is. It's completely, because it's very personal for us. We live this
Yeah,
every day, and we know the distressed side, and now we're on the blissful side. We really want everybody to be on that side too. So join us again next week, and we will continue our conversation with getting it done with gratitude. See you guys.